In this video, we're going to do a couple of matrix multiplications. So we're going to start off and recognize that matrix M is a 2 by 3 matrix. Matrix N is a 3 by 2 matrix. Remember, rows first, columns second. So matrix M has 2 rows and 3 columns. Matrix N has 3 rows, 2 columns. Number 1 says multiply M times N. Because my middle piece is a 3, right, 2 by 3 and 3 by 2. Those 3's are the same. I can do this multiplication. So I start by doing row 1 times column 1. Now, I know that my final answer is going to end up being a 2 by 2 matrix. So it's something that you can do, and it's going to be a good idea for a lot of us, is start by filling out a blank matrix that's going to look like the same shape that we should end up with. So I'm going to have 4 total blanks because it's a 2 by 2 matrix. In this top left blank, I'm going to have 4 times 1 plus -2 times -3 plus 3 times 0. Now, I didn't make this big enough because I'm trying to show all of the details. You'll be able to kind of condense things a little bit. To get into that top right piece, I'm still going to take row 1 because it's still in row 1 at the end. But now I'm going to do column 2. So I have a 4 times 5 plus -2 times 2 plus 3 times -4. The bottom left starts off with row 2 times column 1, 0 times 1 plus 1 times -3 plus -1 times 0. And then row 2 times column 2 is going to give me 0 times 5 plus 1 times 2 plus -1 times -4. This is the full every single step process. You're going to be able to condense this much, much easier because you can do things like 4 times 1 very, very quickly. So 4 times 1 is 4. -2 times -3 is a positive 6, and 3 times 0 is 0. So I have 4 plus 6. That's 10 in that first blank. I'll write it in red so it matches. In this second blank, in green, 4 times 5 is 20. -2 times 2 is -4. 3 times -4 is -12. So I have 20 minus 4 is 16. Minus 12 is going to be 4. The bottom left in blue, I have 0 plus -3 plus 0. That's -3. And in the bottom right, I have 0 plus 2 plus 4 gives me 6. Okay, that's my final answer. It looks hideous. The process is really ugly, but it gives you a nice answer at the end. Now, NM is not the same multiplication. Okay, it's not the same. Just because I've already highlighted all over that one, I'm going to rewrite these matrices. In this case, we have a 3 by 2 matrix being multiplied by a 2 by 3 matrix. These 2's match, so I can do the multiplication, but this time my answer is going to be a 3 by 3 matrix. It's going to be quite a bit bigger. 3 by 3 matrix has 9 elements. Now, this sounds like it's going to be worse, but I would argue it might actually be faster because once I get into this multiplication, row 1 times column 1, I'm going to have a 1 times 4, which is 4, plus 5 times 0, which is 0. I don't have to add 3 sets of multiplication problems together, just 2. Now, row 1, column 2, that's going to be a -2 plus 5. Row 1, column 3, 1 times 3 is 3. 5 times -1 is -5. That's my first row. Now I start over in row 2. Row 2 times column 1 is a -12 plus 0. Row 2 times column 2. I'm trying to keep column 1, 2, and 3 the same color. Row 2 times column 2. -3 times -2 is positive 6. Plus 2 times 1 is plus 2. And then row 2 times column 3. -3 times positive 3 is -9. 2 times -1 is a -2. First element in row 3 times the first element in column 1. 0 times 4 is 0. Then negative 4 times 0 is 0. That one's really boring. 0 times negative 2 is 0. Negative 4 times 1 is negative 4. And then 0 times 3 is 0. Negative 4 times negative 1 is positive 4. Now I get to wrap this up with some quick adding. 4 plus 0 is 4. Negative 2 plus 5 is 3. 3 minus 5 is negative 2. Negative 12 plus 0 is negative 12. 6 plus 2 is 8. Negative 9 minus 2 is negative 11. 0 plus 0 is 0. 0 minus 4 is minus 4. And 0 plus 4 is plus 4 for my final answer. Hope everybody has a great day.